Hey guys, this is Nick from Defaced Games. This time we're featuring the list of most popular games on Steam. This does not mean the Steam games are sorted by total players, but instead this is about the hottest games which are popular all over the gamer community and are available on Steam. Most of them are ready to play, but some are upcoming. The links to these games are given in the video description for ease. So without further delay, let's start with our first title. Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition. It is an action role-playing game played from a third-person view. Players take control of Aloy, a hunter who ventures through a post-apocalyptic land ruled by robotic creatures to uncover her past. Aloy can kill enemies in a variety of ways, setting traps such as tripwires using the tripcaster, shooting them with arrows, using explosive, and a spear. Aloy can dodge, sprint, slide, or roll to evade her enemies' advances. Upon killing machines, they drop machine components including electricity and the metal, which are vital to Aloy's survival. She can loot their remains for crafting resources such as ammo, resource satchels, pouches, quivers, resistances, antidotes, traps, and much more. Weapons have modification slots for dealing more damage. Aloy wears a focus, a small headpiece that scans machines to determine their susceptibilities, identify their locations, their level, and the nature of the loot they will drop. Horizon Zero Dawn is praised for its open world, story, visuals, combat, characterization, and awesome gameplay. Next, Wasteland 3. It is a role-playing video game. Wasteland 3 is set in the freezing wastelands of a post-apocalyptic Colorado. The player will take control of the last surviving member of Team November, a ranger squad from Arizona. It is a squad-based role-playing video game featuring turn-based combat. Played from an isometric perspective, the game features synchronous and asynchronous multiplayer modes. In the game, players need to take various choices, which will have different impacts on the game's world and the story. The game includes revamped combat with the addition of features like environmental hazards. The players will have a ranger base, which will act as a hub for quests and can also be used for research, gathering materials, and making contact with other factions via radio to set up supply lines. As the player progresses, they can also improve the base. The game introduces a vehicle that players can use to traverse the world and store supplies. The main campaign can be played cooperatively with other players as well. Next on the list, Microsoft Flight Simulator. As the name suggests, it is a flight simulator game where you can pilot airplanes and fly anywhere in the world. This is the knockout blow for anyone on the fence about it so far. Literally anywhere in the world. The whole planet is mapped and modeled, ready to be flown across from tens of thousands of airports. This being a Microsoft game, it simulates the entire Earth using textures and data from Bing Maps. You can fly to every single airport in the world too, all 37,000 of them. To pull off this feat, the studio is using a combination of Bing satellite imaging and a whole lot of manual work. On top of seeing other players in the world, Microsoft Flight Simulator will simulate real daily air traffic across the world. You can choose to filter out non-realistic pilots in multiplayer. The weather system runs deep here. Clouds cast shadows over landscape below and over each other. The game has the best graphics and detailing we have ever seen across any game on any platform. Next on the list, Sea of Thieves. It is a first-person action-adventure game where the player assumes the role of a pirate who completes voyages from different trading companies in order to become the ultimate pirate legend. At the beginning of the game, the player selects their procedurally generated player avatar. The game is set in a shared world, which means groups of players will encounter each other throughout their adventures. Solo and duo players sail around a nimble sloop, while players playing in a group control a larger 3-man brigantine or a 4-man galleon cooperatively by assuming different roles such as steering the ship, manning the cannons, navigating, boarding enemy ships, and scouting for the crow's nest. Occasionally, players may encounter hostile players who may attack them with cannonballs or board their ship. If areas under the deck take damage, water will flow in and cause the ship to gradually sink. Players need to patch up the holes with planks of wood and bail out the water using buckets. A cooperative multiplayer mode named Arena was introduced in the anniversary update, which allows 4 teams of players to compete against each other by gathering silver in smaller maps. Next, Hades. It is a roguelike action role-playing video game where the player controls Zagreus, the son of Hades, as he attempts to escape the underworld to reach Mount Olympus. Each run challenges the player through a random series of rooms populated with enemies and rewards, and the player uses a combination of their main weapon attack, dash power, and magic ability to defend themselves while avoiding damage to progress as far as possible. Upon starting a run, one of the Olympians will provide a gift, a choice of 3 persistent boosts for that run that a player can select. The gifts are themed based on the Olympian. After clearing a room, the player will be shown the type of reward that they may earn if they complete the next room. You can also interact with the various characters of the underworld, which provide narrative elements to the game, but may also provide quests with additional rewards. If Zagreus' health points drop to 0, he dies and ends up facing his father, removing all gifts granted from the last run. Next on the list, Crusader Kings 3. It is a grand strategy and dynasty simulator game set in the Middle Ages. Dynasties can form cadet branches that have their own heads and act mostly independently from their parent dynasty. The heads of dynasties will be able to use a new resource known as renown to assert their control over their house. Characters now have full-body 3D rendered character models instead of 2D portraits as in the previous games. Characters have traits that affect their stats and behavior, making so that choices that go against the character's traits will increase the character's stress. The game's genetic system allows characters to pass on some of their characteristics to their descendants. Characters are able to select one of 5 lifestyles to follow. Each lifestyle has 3 skill trees that allow characters to enhance skills related to that lifestyle. There are a number of playable regions and government types with unique tenets and bonuses. The map is about 4 times more detailed than the previous games and slightly larger. Moving on to Risk of Rain 2. It's a roguelike third-person shooter. Here, players control a survivor who is stranded on an alien planet. To survive, they navigate through various environments, killing monsters and looting chests to collect items that boost their offensive and defensive capabilities. On each level, the goal is to locate a teleporter randomly located on the level. Once activated, the players must defend themselves from an onslaught of aliens, including bosses, until the teleporter is fully active. Killing aliens gains experience and currency. The currency can be used to open chests that randomly drop items on the level. Over time, the game's difficulty increases, spawning more powerful and dangerous creatures. Players unlock access to new playable characters, items, and game modifiers by completing certain in-game achievements. Risk of Rain 2 also features several of the same playable characters, creatures, and items from the first game, but transitions the game from 2D to a 3D environment. The game supports up to 4 players in online multiplayer. Next, Among Us. Among Us became an overnight triumph and can most definitely be considered one of the most successful games of 2020 despite its 2018 release. It is an online multiplayer social deduction game. The game takes place in a space-themed setting where players each take on one of 2 roles, most being crewmates and the predetermined number being imposters. The game supports 4 to 10 players. 1 to 3 of these players are randomly selected each game to be imposters, while the rest are crewmates. The game can take place on one of 3 maps: a spaceship, a headquarters building, or a planet base. Crewmates are given tasks to complete around the map in the form of minigames consisting of maintenance work on vital systems such as electrical rewiring and fueling engines. Imposters are given a fake list of tasks in order to blend in with crewmates and have the ability to sabotage the map's systems, traverse all vents, identify any other imposters, and murder crewmates. The crewmates win by completing all tasks before being murdered or by finding and eliminating all the imposters. For the imposters to win, they must kill enough crewmates such as the number of imposters is equal to the number of crewmates or have the sabotage countdown run out. Next on the list, Fall Guys. It is a platformer battle royale game which draws inspiration from game shows like Takeshi's Castle, It's a Knockout, and Wipeout, and other playground games like Tag and British Bulldog. Up to 60 players compete in matches with a battle royale style gameplay. Players, represented as jelly bean-like figures, move around a 3-dimensional playing field with additional moves such as jumping, grabbing, or diving to assist gameplay. The game is to qualify for subsequent rounds by successfully completing each of the randomly selected minigames. Certain minigames involve running towards the finish line at the end of the map, while others add elements of teamwork. On every minigame, obstacles appear around the map for added complexity. Players who are too slow or fail certain requirements for a minigame are eliminated. On the final round, the remaining few players compete in a final match with a randomized minigame designed for a smaller player size. The winner of the match is the last player standing. Players can purchase cosmetics and emotes for their character to show off in-game. And last but not least, Cyberpunk 2077. It is an upcoming first-person open-world role-playing video game developed and published by CD Projekt. The game is available for pre-order and became one of the most sold video games on Steam this year. In Cyberpunk, you play as V, a mercenary whose voice, face, hairstyle, body type and modifications, background, and clothing are customizable. The perk tree branches into melee, blades, handguns, shotguns, rifles, sniper rifles, hacking, two-handed combat, assassination, and much more. You can upgrade and purchase cyberware implants, and black markets offer military-grade abilities. In-game, you can take cover, aim, run, jump, double jump, and slide. There are 3 types of ranged weapons, all of which can be customized and modified. Weapon use increases accuracy and reloading speed, which are manifested in characters' animations. The game can be completed without killing anyone, with non-lethal options for weapons and cyberware. Without a doubt, Cyberpunk 2077 is the biggest game releasing this year. And with this, we end our list of most popular Steam games. You can write your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe to see more in the future. See you next time.